recorded. This is the Red Ticket Blues podcast. I am Brian Buckley. This is being recorded on March 21st to hit the internets on March 22nd. How's everybody doing? It's craziness. It snows. Snow's gone. Obama standing in front of pictures of Che Guevara. David Ortiz is complaining. Well, that last one's pretty normal, pretty status quo. Remember, you can always listen to the show on iTunes, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, YouTube. Follow me on Twitter at BrianBuck13 and at Red Ticket Blues. So there's a lot to get to. Last week was sort of a week of Mike Francesa, and we all love the week of Mike Francesa. We all love years. Some pathetic souls, like myself, love lifetimes. Sometimes you just gotta move away for a little bit. I may mention him a few times because I think that's modus operandi that has to be done. But there's going to be other topics. We got baseball coming. There are storylines. Maybe not even baseball related. Adam LaRoche wants to open a daycare center. And it was denied, so he retired. David Ortiz is whining. I really want to give Ortiz the benefit of the doubt on his final year, but he just won't let me. He won't allow me to do it. We get into the NCAA tournament that started. And meet the Hoopers. What is that? No. I'm not listening to that anymore. I can't. Turn it off. No, I can't stand that commercial anymore. It's like they got all those guys together and they made that commercial and they said, hey, we're going to do like 3 versions and we're just going to slice it up 27 different ways and then we'll just play it ad nauseum over and over again. Oh my God. And then they throw in the insurance agent who looks like David Lee's scruffy little brother, and the whole thing sucks, along with all the other commercials. This is a topic I've spoken about before. You watch a long series of something, you get the same commercials. We'll get into all that. We'll also touch on a little NBA. Dwight Howard is continuing to be unlikable. And Carmelo Anthony's, his days, I think, are starting to be numbered in New York City. And you got to see a good NBA basketball game on Saturday with the Spurs and the Warriors. And the Spurs came out on top. We'll talk a little bit about that. But let's jump into what is March Madness. And, well, I mean, you had a lot of games. You had some first round upsets. Well, second round, because the first round is the play-in games, which I think we can all say is the dumbest thing in the world. But let's go through them real quick. I know I don't want to bore everyone here. So we got all the number 1 seeds moved on the first round. Nothing really crazy, I guess. Obviously, Michigan State losing to Middle Tennessee, which was awesome. Giddy Potts, I said several times, I want a Giddy Potts jersey. A fat, stubby little guy like that, who apparently led the league and led the country, in 3-point field goal percentage, was just banging them. Unfortunately, they met a rather nasty demise against Syracuse. Losing by 25 yesterday. What else? Any other big upsets? I guess Gonzaga over Seton Hall, but Gonzaga is not your normal 11 seed. Big upsets. Little Rock, they eked it out over Purdue. I predicted that one because we all care about everyone's brackets. Stephen F. Austin, which died a awful death yesterday against Notre Dame. That walk-up guy, I think Vern Lundquist and Jim Smarkle wanted to take him home and build a crib for him. The guy was great, but he does have an amazing basketball IQ. He got that, that douchey Bryce Harper look, but he didn't have the swagger and douchiness of it. You know what I mean? The appearance was it was different. It was unique, but he seemed like quite a humble guy. But those guys, man, he breathed the right way, and Lundquist was, and I like Lundquist. I thought he was ready to fall out of his chair. Anything else first round here? Let's move on. UConn actually won against Colorado. They did a great job of trying to lose it. They had a very difficult time against that press, but they moved on. Hawaii in a game that a lot of people picked over Cal. I'm trying not to stay too long. Wichita State was a big one. A lot of people predicted that one. Wait, that didn't make any sense. They won that game. No, I'm sorry. Let's just move on here. Gale won. New Haven's finest. We were all so happy. Not really. I really wasn't worried that much. I did pick them too, but they ended up losing to Duke. Hey, even my stupid tweet got into the Daily News, something along the lines of, now I have to go back to my ratty dorm, which has a fireplace, quote unquote, Gale player probably. So if you see, kids, if you tweet enough times and enough dumb shit, it will make a terrible newspaper. That's inspiration. If that's not inspiration, I don't know what the hell is. Why don't you just give up? Delete your account. Yeah, God, I just said that. So right now, yesterday there were, so let's see, the good games yesterday. The second round, the third round, we had North Carolina Providence. I got out of hand quick. Indiana Kentucky. John Calipari's out. So I'm really broken up over that one. Like I said, Notre Dame beat Stephen F. Austin. Wisconsin. How about that 3 yesterday over Xavier? And Xavier was, come on, they were the weakest number 2 seed you've seen in ages. Virginia actually came through. I thought they were going to lose to Butler. They kept it close, but Gonzaga moves on. Syracuse will face Gonzaga with a 10-11 matchup. Jim Boeheim is already thinking up some way to blame it on a reporter if they lose. They shouldn't even be in this tournament. Let's be honest. And I know that's the UConn bias in me talking, but they shouldn't be. Don't worry about it. Just put that self-imposed ban when your team sucks. And next year, it was only 12, 13 years of academic fraud. It's not a big deal. So then Oklahoma, they move on, take on Texas A&M. How about the breakdown from North Iowa? Cue the Tom Petty breakdown. My God, if there ever was one. How can you be up 12 points with 44 seconds and have to go to overtime? It's like they'd never seen a press before. Now, I heard Francesa saying, I guess, I don't remember the announcer saying this, but their inbounder was hurt. So they had a lot of trouble getting the ball in because they looked like they hadn't played basketball before when it came to that. But that's just a brutal way to lose in double overtime. Texas A&M with a prayer moving on to face Oklahoma. Buddy Hield was not Buddy Hield in the first half, but Buddy Hield was Buddy Hield in the second half. So Buddy Hield's got to figure out who he is. And Yale, the dream died against Duke. Villanova destroyed Iowa. They haven't really played anyone yet because Iowa, they were fugazi. They big time. I mean, were they the number 1 seed at one point? If they weren't, they were pretty damn close. Number 1 ranked. I think in some polls they were 1 week, but no one ever took that seriously. They really fell apart down the stretch. Wichita State, that was a game of runs back and forth in Miami, Wichita State. And Angela, you got players in that game that seemed like they had been around forever. Yeah, Fred VanVleet. Baker, what's his first name? Ron Baker? That sounds it doesn't matter. Baker, and then Angel Rodriguez, a transfer from Kansas State. Seems like he has been around since I was in college. But he finally is a senior, Angel Rodriguez, and he played well. He played very well. Maryland took care of Hawaii, and Kansas took care of UConn. Actually, it was a 12-point game. You know what? UConn, honestly, for as bad as they played, they kept it somewhat close because they were getting destroyed, and I thought it was going to be an epic embarrassment. If they faced anyone other than Kansas, I think they'd be in the Sweet 16. Oh, yeah, Brian. Yeah. Okay, Brian. Okay. Hopefully they're better next year. I didn't talk about them a lot on the podcast this year. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think anyone's going anywhere other than the seniors. I don't think anyone's declaring, so they're supposed to be getting a very good draft. Recruiting class coming in. So enough of that, and let's look at the matchups for this next week. Miami Villanova, that's going to be a good game. I like that game. It's the Sweet 16. They're all good games, Brian. So you got Thursday, you got Miami Villanova, I'm already salivating at that game. Maryland Kansas. Well, that may sound good. Maryland is such an up and down team. Kansas, I think, will roll in that one. Oregon Duke, Duke doesn't have that great of a team. They really don't, but Oregon, that's a rough 1 seed. Maybe you just don't see them enough. The East Coast bias, I don't know. Texas A&M and Oklahoma. You think Oklahoma would dominate there, but they are a one-dimensional team at time. I'm having trouble talking today. Am I having a stroke? Team at times. So, and then Friday we got Iowa State, Virginia. That should be a good one. Give me Iowa State in that one. I like that. I think that's Virginia will go down. Wisconsin, Notre Dame. I thought you like Notre Dame to roll there. And North Carolina, Indiana. North Carolina's getting 5.5. I don't know about that game. I kind of like Indiana. I don't trust this North Carolina team the way everyone else does. They're a good team, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how far Marcus Page can take you. But that was the madness. And, of course, like I said, the commercials, maybe people don't want to focus on them, but it's difficult. You have to change your channel. I mute it. The Hoopers, Karen Filippelli, or Ann Perkins with the Southwest commercial. We all picked a 12 seed to beat a 5 seed. Are your brackets busted? What else we have? We have the Burger King guy with the flame broiled hot dogs, which, good God, if you're buying hot dogs from Burger King, just get in a car and drive off a cliff. It's just ridiculous. That is a summertime food that you enjoy with friends and beer or at a baseball game. You don't go to Burger King to buy hot dogs. I mean, think about this. If you're going into Burger King and you're going to buy hot dogs, remember this podcast and evaluate your life and what you're doing. And say, did I ever think it would come to this? I'm buying hot dogs at Burger King. I mean, it doesn't get much lower. At least make the hot dogs at home. Flame broiled. Yeah, I'm sure. Give me a fucking break. And what are some other ones? Well, there's always the Allstate commercial, from Mayhem, Lake May, which, the paper towel burns and, all that crap. So anyways, that was, and of course you had to have your people like Bomani Jones last night, and just NBA fans in general. Why can't you let people appreciate college basketball? Why can't you let people appreciate March Madness for what it is? You don't have to come and say, well, the professional game has more talent than the college. Whoa. No, stop. You can't. You're blowing my mind. Professionals are better than amateurs in a field? You gotta be shitting me. This is mind-blowing. Forget it. I'm done with college basketball. It's all a ruse. Stop. Why can't everyone just enjoy everything? Yeah, you should talk, Brian. So, that's college basketball, and of course, everyone's brackets are busted, but does that mean everyone's leading then? Question mark. So let's move on to baseball, and you don't hear. I haven't really been paying attention a ton to scores and it seems like some of the storylines are off the field, and hopefully we'll have a baseball guy this for the Thursday talk on Thursday. A man he wears lots of hats, literally, but right now he's in baseball, so hopefully we can have him on. You probably shouldn't be mentioning stuff if it's not final, Brian, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to go out on a whim because I think it's going to happen. So let's talk. Adam LaRoche, the big story. Everyone's got an opinion on this one. You know the platoon line. Everyone's got one. They all stink. So Adam LaRoche, who batted .207 last year for the White Sox, very, very bad. And he had an assumption. He had a feeling that this was going to be his last year. His last year in the major leagues. He was going to be paid $13 million. So it had become a practice of his to bring his son Drake in the clubhouse every day. Yes, every day. Apparently he doesn't go to school. He is homeschooled. And apparently also Adam LaRoche isn't big on school. That's a quote. "We're not big on school," LaRoche said. "I told my wife he's going to learn a lot more useful information in the clubhouse than he will in the classroom as far as life lessons." Where do you start with that one? At first, when I heard this story, I thought it was absolutely insane that a child is allowed in a professional locker room to begin with. Why? He is a child. We see some of these guys, and we see movies, and you could just imagine, you read books, these are crude, disgusting assholes that are bragging about how many chicks they bagged the other night, and scratching their ass, and just telling terrible jokes, and pulling pranks. And again, we're all adults. We'd find it funny, but Drake is, 12, 14? And I guess when he came to the White Sox, GM Kenny Williams had said, "Listen, it's cool. It's cool, bro. Bring Drake in. He's part of the team. Let's give him a friggin' locker," which they did. And then it looks like, I think part of it has to do with, obviously, LaRoche fell off. He batted .207 last year. And Kenny Williams said, "Hey, let's slide back. Let's slide back on the bringing Drake to the locker room. This is an adult. This is a workplace. It's a business. Things are happening here. We have a job to do. It's not a daycare center." And then it turned to, don't bring him at all. Like I said, first, what the hell's a kid doing in the locker room? Second of all, but then I got to look at it twofold. Kenny Williams told him it was cool. He said, "Bring your kid here." And now, because Adam LaRoche had a bad season, you can't come here. So you're reneging on what you said. Now, Kenny Williams has annoyed others before. He's lucky he has a job because he's made some bad moves, too. But he did bring the White Sox a World Series in 2005, right? Has he been there that long? Or maybe it wasn't even him. The hell am I talking about? I'm pretty sure it was him. But here's the thing. Now you hear a lot of stuff. You hear that Chris Sale, the pitcher for the White Sox, a star pitcher, says Kenny Williams is a liar, which You got to love spring training when your ace pitcher is calling the general manager a liar. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. Talk about team functionality and team morale. Everyone's on the same page, all that crap. And then you hear anonymous players saying, we're tired of Drake being in the locker room to Kenny Williams. So you got a lot of he said, she said in this. Now, Adam Eaton, now former teammate, well, he's a teammate, but the former, oh, Jesus Christ, he's a guy in the White Sox. And he said Drake is a leader in the clubhouse. So a teenager is a leader in a Major League Baseball clubhouse. Maybe that would explain why the White Sox aren't good. You have a freaking child in the locker room. Now, another interesting thing I thought about this, because obviously Adam LaRoche is very fervent about this. He wants his child there. He wants to experience all the life lessons. And the kid doesn't go to school. Only interaction he really has with kids his own age is when he plays Little League. He doesn't go to school with them. Maybe he plays PlayStation with them at home, and I don't know. But you understand what I'm saying. His daughter goes to school normally, so he doesn't want her learning the life lessons. I mean, Will Leach said for Sports on Earth, a great article about this today. And I don't know where to stand on this. I mean, I have a podcast. I have to take a stand. Come on. I don't really know where to stay. I mean, I admit he doesn't belong there. Like, the policy itself is ridiculous. Having a kid there every once in a while on special occasions, I think it's great. Having a kid there every day where you have a locker, no, that's not normal. If I went to my dad's work every day, well, I'm 35 now, so that would be a little weird, and he's not working anymore. He's retired. But if I did, I mean, it would just be, when I was younger, that'd be strange. Doesn't your kid go to school? No, he just loves what I do. He just wants to be here all the time. Now, granted, my father wasn't a Major League Baseball player. I mean, AAA. No, he didn't play baseball. He actually struck out every time as a Little Leaguer. He's going to be mad that I said that, but he has no problem saying it. 1 year, he struck out every time. Every time. I don't know if that's in the statistics in Bridgeport, Connecticut, Little League. I think he played for the Red Sox, too. He'll have to come on the podcast and confirm that at some point. But point being, Kenny Williams is in the wrong, and Adam LaRoche kind of a baby, saying, you don't want to let my kid in this locker room, so I'm going to retire. Kind of stupid, too. $13 million left on the table. Speaking of stupid, let's move on, because we babbled way too long about this. Hey, our old friend David Ortiz. Now, David Ortiz, he's in his last year. He is retiring. The retirement tour he didn't want. And I want to give David Ortiz credit. Listen, he is a con man. What a way to give someone credit. He's a con man with the steroids. So let's put the steroid stuff aside. People can agree if the clutch gene exists or not. The man has come through in so many clutch situations and been such a Yankee killer. You have to respect that. But he is being David Ortiz. How David Ortiz does at the end of his career, at the spring training before the last year of his career. He's whining about how the Twins treated him bad. Doesn't really say why. He's just said he was doing well in the minors when he played for the Twins. David Arias, not Ortiz. And he came to, he looked back and said, they weren't treating me well. I was doing really well there, and they didn't move me up to the majors. They treated me bad. So now he wants respect. So I'm sure he probably wants a bevy of gifts when he comes to Minnesota, but he doesn't want the tour, though. He doesn't. Just remember that he would never do that, except for that he's doing that. And this one I love today. I was reading this before the podcast. It came out this morning, so maybe I should have read it earlier. But anyways, Alex Spear of the Boston Globe asked Red Sox David Ortiz about bat flipping, because everyone has to talk about bat flipping. Yes, and if you don't like bat flipping, you're an old crusty white man who shouldn't have an opinion. Which I guess the only opinion would be that bat flipping's cool. But if you don't like bat flipping, then your opinion doesn't. Confused on the whole thing, but see, while I agree that there needs to be a little more energy and fun in baseball, I think there's a fine line between showing up the opponent, and I don't think most people realize that because they're idiots. Yes, most people are idiots. Take a walk down the street. Look around. Are you in your car right now? Look around. Look in your office. Are you in your office? Look around at the people. They're idiots. They are. Or even look at yourself in the mirror. Face the facts. Get over it. But here's the thing. David Ortiz is one of these people who has no problem strutting, pimping, but God damn it if you throw inside. And that's what a lot of people say. Well, why do you have to throw inside? Why can't the pitcher just celebrate when he does a good thing? Forget the fucking bravado and swag bullshit. How about being a pitcher? Someone's going to hit a bomb off you. You're going to make them feel uncomfortable and throw inside. And David Ortiz doesn't like being thrown inside. But forget all that. That wasn't even what I was planning on talking about. So, Alex Spear of the Boston Globe asked David Ortiz, what do you think about bat flipping, Poppy? And he said, let's see. Well, then he said, Spear asked him, what do you think of people who scold others to respect the game? And Ortiz said, respect my expletive. I don't have to respect nobody when I'm between those lines. What is that? What is that expletive? Respect my shit? Respect my... I mean, hey, you fill in the blank there. I need to know what he said, if that's on audio, if anyone has it. Respect my...
Sheeet.
Well, that could be it. Respect my... Yeah. But that could be it. To pitchers who complain about the bat flips, if you're going to take it like a baby, I'm going to take you deep again. How about that? Take it like a man and make better quality pitches the next time I face you, and then you get me out, and then you do whatever the hell you want. This is competition. Okay? People who have not hit a homer in the major leagues offering opinions about how hitters should act when they do. And if you don't know anything about it, shut up. Shut up. Seriously, if you don't know anything about it, shut up, because that is another level. The eloquent David Ortiz. Respect my... fill in the blank. Just fill it in. Whatever it may be. Oh my God. I'm so sick of him already. And it's not even the Red Sox. It's just... why he's such a loud, obnoxious figure. Anyways, Jacoby Ellsbury's already hurt, but the x-rays are negative, so... But hey, nothing like March with Jacoby Ellsbury being hurt. Roldis Chapman's getting bombed, but he has plenty of time to, on that suspension, to get his thoughts together, so... Good for him. What else did I want to talk about? We had Dwight Howard. Let's jump into the NBA. And things are starting to get a little interesting now. We're getting closer to the playoffs. The real season begins in the NBA. Anthony Davis shut it down. Apparently, he's been playing with a torn something for like weeks and still dominating the NBA, which is just mind-boggling. Dwight Howard, yes, everyone's favorite malcontent. Well, I guess Boogie Cousins is probably worse, but Dwight Howard is surprised and disappointed that he's being labeled a cheater. Yes, he has been accused of using stickum, which is banned and illegal in the NBA to get a better grip on the ball. Steven Adams of the Oklahoma City Thunder suggested maybe that's why he's so bad at free throws. Can't get a good grip on the ball, or he's just, the follow-through just isn't there. And to these terrible accusations, Howard said, I've been using the spray for the last 5 years. I never hid the spray. I never did anything to try to hide what I was doing. It was just something to make my hands dry. And is it Bernie Bickerstaff? Or is it, no, it's the Bickerstaff, I forget the Rockets head coach's name. But he said he was surprised anyone asked about the can, surprised by reports the team tried to hide it from officials. Every time Dwight goes into the game, it's the same routine. It was no cover-up on my part. He's never run back to the locker room, tried to trick anyone. It was never brought to our attention. No one's ever said anything about it. If you go back, you can watch every single one of our games for the past 3 years. It's there. So we obviously surprised by the attention it's drawn. Being stupid is it's not an excuse. It really isn't. So I mean, it's not a great comparison, but so guys, and I realize baseball is different because the act of cheating in baseball is almost like a death sentence. Well, not anymore, but it's a scarlet letter. We'll put it that way. Oh, not anymore, but you know what I mean. Imagine if people were just injecting themselves, and they're like, "Hey, no one said we could." Yeah, we admit it's not allowed, but no one said anything. We're just doing it. It's just Dwight Howard continues to be unlikable on every imaginable level. Quits on teams, requests trades. Says won't play hurt, now is cheating, admitting it, and upset. And this sounds like something Alex Rodriguez would say. Oh, what's wrong? What am I doing, guys? Where am I? I'm sorry, that's not fair. I pledge this year to not rip Alex Rodriguez as much because you know what? It's tiresome, and the guy has done a good job at repairing his image. He's still a phony, but my vow to my listeners is I won't rip Alex Rodriguez as much this year. I'll try. I'll try my best. Carmelo Anthony's last days with the Knicks, I think, are approaching. When asked if he, what is his future with the Knicks going forward, he said,
Sheeet.
I don't know. Yeah, that wasn't really the audio. It was Clyde Davis of The Wire, if you didn't catch that. But so yeah, Melo, and then he also made the quote. I don't have it exactly in front of me, so I'm paraphrasing. You know, it looks like I'm getting. It's coming back to bite me in the ass for being so loyal to stay with the Knicks. So loyal. Oh God, you know, his knees hurt. I don't understand why his back doesn't hurt from carrying that cross that he has to carry every game. Oh my God, it's got to be difficult. I'll give Melo the benefit of the doubt. He has never been given the pieces here. He has never been given the pieces whatsoever. However, Melo, you could have left, man. And I think a lot of people wanted you to leave, but you stayed here not to be loyal. You stayed because it was better for your brand and it was the most money. So cut the bullshit. No one is that stupid. Opt out. Can he opt out? No, he has to request a trade. I think the Carmelo Anthony show, and I mean, he's almost. What are you gonna? What's the team gonna give up? I mean, who wants that contract? And an aging Melo. The guy's changed his game this year, but I mean, the injuries are starting to mount up. Yeah, the migraine. He couldn't even talk the other day. I don't want to downplay migraines, but I don't believe him. He's disintegrating. He's not disintegrating. He's breaking down. And it's only going to get worse because that's what happens. As we all know. I actually tuned into a little of the game on Saturday. The big matchup between the Spurs and the Golden State Warriors. Which, hey, can you believe it? I mean, Steph Curry was... Steph wasn't Steph. He... 0 points in the fourth quarter. And the Spurs... It's amazing that the Spurs are only a few games behind this Golden State Warrior juggernaut of a team. And I think I tweeted this, you know, the Chicago Bulls bandwagon fan in me was so happy to see the Warriors lose. I don't want them breaking that record. But at the same time, it's like, Jesus, you know, who cares? They break the record. That was my life change. It really doesn't. And that's, well, I also want to talk about, you know, there's an interesting thing. I guess we'll end it with, you know, baseball is coming to Cuba at the same time we're opening up relations with the island of Cuba. For a long time, I don't need to give you a history lesson here. A long time, embargoes. It's just been another world. We haven't communicated other than baseball in many sense. In reality, how much communication was there between the United States and Cuba? It was when a player defected, which apparently they don't use that term anymore, according to Bob Lee of ESPN. Did a long expose. It was a lot of good stuff on the little documentaries of baseball in Cuba and everything, Louis Tion and everyone talking. So, but now things are being opened up. Obama's there today, the first president since you know, the new regime went in there, the Castro brothers and Che. Obama was standing with Raul Castro today in front of a building that had Che Guevara painted on it. A communist, a anti-capitalist, a anti-United States policy person. And, you know, he was also led some murderous brigade, there's murder involved. I'm not choosing my words here. But listen, Che is not the guy that's on the t-shirts that everyone wants to talk about who's a freedom fighter. He wasn't the greatest guy in the world, okay? You can challenge me on that if you want, because many will. But main thing is, quite a picture. I don't know what he's thinking, the president, in that. But, and ESPN had a great tweet earlier this week. Yes, Fidel Castro stands for many things, but he loved his sports. You know, it's just, you know, what did Hitler like? Did he like dog racing? I mean, I'd love to hear more about it. You know, baseball in Cuba, I don't know what it's going to be like anymore. You know, we talk about, it's probably going to be a lot like the Dominican, honestly. You know, we open up more relations. Major League Baseball teams are going to come in all on their boats. They're going to set up fields. They're going to start getting these guys from the age of whatever to start getting them moving and everything. Now, I know a lot of people will see that the Rays are playing there, I believe, Tuesday against the Cuban national team, and you'll have the morons saying, I think it's time for a baseball team in Havana. Well, it's a third world country, you idiot. And, yeah, I'm liking calling people idiots lately. I like that, because I'm in a position to call people idiots. But, you know, people that make $300 a year, how much of the ticket's going to be? 25 cents? because that's really even that's probably a lot for a lot of people in Cuba. I mean, Obama, listen, he's at a point right now where he's in the I don't give a fuck mode. I mean, he's Tupac with the fingers out. I don't care. I'm at the end of my second term doing what I want. And he's doing what probably a lot of presidents wanted to do in the last probably 20 years, but just didn't want all the bullshit that went along with it. I mean, this has gone on long enough, this embargo. However, at the same time, I can understand where some people are coming from, a lot of older Cubans, saying, you know what, how dare you sit there and negotiate with these people that killed. Now, some will say, well, listen, it's long enough. Fidel's not in power anymore. He's in poor health, and it's his brother. Oh. And I know they're not the same person, but okay, Hitler, we're going to talk to him. He's cool. Yeah, Adolf, he's sick. Don't worry about it. He's not even around the country anymore. We're going to talk to this guy, and listen, everything's cool. All the millions of people. And I know it's different. Hitler, millions, Castro, thousands. But it's still kind of the slap in the face to some people. But as a president, you're always going to do stuff that not everyone's going to agree with. Being diplomatic, the Red Ticket Blues podcast. And that's about it. I do find all of the Cuban influx and just everything that's going on. And you saw Obama shaking hands with Raul Castro, say very awkwardly. It was gut-wrenching. Not even the fact that it's Cuba. It was just, you have to see the arm. It wasn't even a real, it was like Raul grasped his wrist, and I don't know. Odd, we'll put it that way. You have to answer to that one, Obama. But, I mean, I find it all interesting. There's commercial flights going there soon. I'd like to go there soon before it's ruined. And there's a Starbucks on every corner. Unfortunately, the Cuban people are seeing the internet now. Hey, maybe they can download this podcast. They'll be completely confused. And why someone would be so negative. I'm not negative. Shut up. But, all right, I'm rambling here. Thank you all for listening to the Red Ticket Blues podcast. And you can always listen, continue listening on iTunes, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, YouTube, and follow me on Twitter at BrianBuck13 and at Red Ticket Blues. Like the show on Facebook. And hey, remember to check in on Thursday for the Thursday Talk with a sports media guest. So, if you haven't already subscribed, leave a review. And with all that being said,